Okay, so I wanted to make a video. That's a terrible start, huh? Alright, so working on the bucket truck this time, I made a ton of mistakes, which some of them I've made in the past, some of them I haven't, but I wanted to write them down, and I thought that after I wrote them down, I thought that I would share them with you. So let's just start at the top. These are kind of gas tank specific because I was just doing the gas tank. So the gas tank specific ones, don't not buy the sending unit. So don't ever go to put in a new gas tank and not buy the sending unit. Unless you have a brand new car and you just wanted to put in a new gas tank. Because the reality is it's going to be rusty. It's going to be a pain to work with. Stuff's going to break off of it. Just buy a new sending unit. One that goes with that is don't not buy a fuel pump. If there's a fuel pump in the sending unit, buy the sending unit with the fuel pump. Don't not do that. It's never going to be worth it. Don't misplace parts. So if you open the box for your sending unit, don't lose anything. I spent 2 hours on some lost O-rings. Don't do that. Make sure you keep track of your parts. And a lot of this advice, by the way, is going to be obvious. I just want to get it out there. Like, this is really obvious stuff. But don't drive to AutoZone or auto parts store of your choice without testing all of the components. So check out the rest of your project and make sure there's nothing else you're going to need. So I went to AutoZone for the O-rings and had no idea that my fuel pump didn't work. If I had just tested the fuel pump, I would have known I could have picked up a fuel pump. I should have picked up a fuel pump. Don't drive to auto store without verifying that the part is there and that they will hold it for you. And biggest of all, I did this one too, don't drive to the auto store if they're not open. So verify that they're open. And don't just know, oh yeah, it's Tuesday at 10, they're open. No, call. Unless you're 5 minutes away, then whatever. I'm a half an hour, so I drove all the way down there. It was 7:30 in the morning. It was a daylight savings change too, so it was actually anyway. They weren't open for another hour and a half. Totally stupid. I've done that 100 times. I don't know why I keep doing it. Don't do it. It's stupid. I hate it. Anyway, don't buy parts until you know what you need. Now, this is advice that I gave on the Suburban project, but I just wanted to reiterate. Tear your thing apart. See what's wrong. You know what's funny? This morning, I almost made this mistake. This morning, I was going to buy a tie rod for this truck, and instead I was like, you know, maybe I should just go under and look at it. So I brought it inside, jacked it up, and it wasn't the tie rod. It was the idler arm. I almost made that mistake. God, why can't I remember this advice? All right. Try not to make decisions to hurry up and get it done. This is a big one because oftentimes I just want to get it done, and so I'll make dumb decisions. So don't do that. Don't rush, basically. Unless you're parked in a tidal plane and the tide's coming in, then you might want to rush. Don't try to take apart and put it back together all at once. That's kind of like the one before it. I mean, don't rush. Don't try and take it apart and put it back together. Take it apart, see what you need, order the parts, get the parts, put them in, test things, then put it back together. Don't spend more than 20 minutes doing something stupid, like looking for O-rings. I spent an hour and a half looking for the O-rings, and then had to drive to the store and buy them. And the total time to drive to the store to buy them was less than the time I spent looking for them. So don't do that. That's stupid. Don't put it back together until it's tested. And test everything. So the fuel pump I didn't test before I put it back together. Threw it all up there in the tank and it didn't work. So I had to take it all back down. So test stuff. Double check your work. I crossed the polarity on the fuel pump when I put it in there somehow. I know that I did it right, but I didn't. And so double check your work, triple check your work, verify everything's the way it should be. Take time to do that. It'll help. Measure twice, cut once. Don't trust anyone or anything. And this kind of seems like a paranoid one at the bottom, But the reason it's on there is don't trust any source on its own. So don't trust the guy at the auto parts store across the counter. Don't trust the website showing you the part. I mean, you might be able to trust a microfiche. I would trust a microfiche. You look at the microfiche, it points to the part, it points to the part number. But don't trust yourself that you found the correct microfiche. So you can find a microfiche for a GMC C3500, but instead it's got an I-beam front suspension instead of independent front suspension, and the microfiche doesn't show you that distinction, and you make the decision based on that. Don't trust any one source. So you find the microfiche, you get the part number, and you cross-check it with Amazon, you cross-check it with AutoZone, Advance Auto Parts, O'Reilly, whatever your auto parts store is. Cross-check it at a bunch of different websites and make sure that they're all saying the same thing about that part. And once you've done that, go to your auto parts store and talk to the auto parts guy and make sure that what he's saying cross-checks with all the websites you've found. Then make your decision. Because the auto parts guys, some of them are great, some of them are terrible, some of them don't know anything, some of them know everything, which can also be bad. They don't have a vested interest in getting your vehicle fixed. They have a vested interest in selling parts. And so if they sell you the wrong part, it's no big deal for them. They don't have to drive all the way back and return it and buy another part and do it all again on a different day. They just say, oh yeah, you can return it anytime. They don't care. So anyway, Auto Wisdom. So just, I continue to make these mistakes even after making this list. I just wanted to get it out there. And if you have any others, post them in the comments below. Let's help each other out. Let's not make dumb mistakes. Working on cars can be fun, as long as you're not being stupid. Thanks for watching.